So you're thinking of hiring a virtual assistant, a VA, and you're not sure whether you should hire one locally in your own country, your own city, or overseas. What are the pros and cons? Well done for thinking, first of all, that you should get in a virtual assistant. That's fantastic support for small business owners and entrepreneurs. But which way do you go? What's the pros and cons? That's what we're going to be talking about this week, coming right up. So it's interesting seeing the trend in small business owners and entrepreneurs utilizing the services of virtual assistants. It just seems to be increasing year on year. And it's amazing the diversity as well of tasks and the amount of integration within the small business owner's business that is allowing all of that to happen. And it's fantastic to see people growing. Everybody I know who runs a small business, and all my entrepreneurial friends, have virtual assistants, at least one. Most have a team. I have to confess, I now have a team of 7 personally supporting me. It's a much bigger team looking after my business, but just looking after the stuff I do, I have a team of 7. You don't need 7. If you haven't got one will make a huge difference. But one of the key decisions is, do you hire locally or overseas? And I've talked about office-based and home-based as well, so check out that video. But this week, we're going to be talking about local versus overseas. How is that going to work for you? The reason I thought I'd share this is that this morning, I was talking to one of our clients in the US who's just hired a virtual assistant, and he said he'd tried local ones, he'd tried some overseas ones, and he'd had kind of some mixed results. And I kind of talked him through this process, and I thought I'd share it with you on the video. So what are the benefits of a local virtual assistant? They're pretty obvious. Culture and language. Wherever you're based, they're going to be speaking your language. They understand your culture. Hopefully they understand your business environment, how business is done in your country and in your part of the country. So all of that's a really good positive. The big downside, I think, for people, particularly small business owners looking for support, is probably going to be the cost. Now, I'm kind of working on an assumption here that the majority of customers of virtual assistants are in sort of higher economy countries, better off countries, and most of the virtual assistants are in less well-off countries, although that's not strictly true, because particularly in the US and Australia and parts of Europe, there are a lot of local virtual assistants being utilized as well. But one of the big downsides of a local virtual assistant, I think, is the cost, because I'm not sure what a VA in Australia would cost. Could be $50 an hour, whereas if you were looking somewhere like the Philippines, it's probably $5 an hour. Wow, that's a huge difference. What are you getting for your dollar? That's the important consideration. Is the overseas VA as good as the local one? Am I getting 10 times the value with the local VA? I would suggest no. You're getting additional value in terms of local knowledge and language and all that sort of stuff. But are you getting 10 times? Think of it another way. If I had 10 overseas VAs, would I be getting more value to my business than one local one? That's another way of looking at it. But some people like to have a local virtual assistant. Okay, that's cool. And certainly there are benefits with it. Let's look at the overseas one. So it's almost a reverse, isn't it? Because they're not necessarily going to have much local knowledge of your country, your industry, although I've found they learn very quickly. Language can be a little bit of a problem, depending where you're hiring your virtual assistant from. I was amazed. I've had virtual assistants from different parts of Europe, from India, from the Philippines. One of the reasons I love the Philippines is that their culture and language is a great match for us. So whilst English is not necessarily a first language for most Filipinos, it's a really close second. And all of my team speak fluent English with a slight accent, some barely noticeable. Some of our more technical people, perhaps, their English strength is not quite as good. But generally, Filipino VAs speak really, really good English. So that's not an issue for me. So what's the major benefit? Well, it's the cost one. The cost of a virtual assistant overseas is about 10% of a local one. So what does that actually mean then for you as a small business owner? Well, what it means is that it's very low risk. You can actually try out having some support staff, and it's not a high cost risk for you, whereas it might be if you're hiring locally. The other thing is that once you get going with a virtual assistant and once you start realizing the benefit of it, very often you want to have more. And that's how I started. I started with one. I've now got a team of 7. I actually have an office full of 50, if the truth were known, but 7 look after me. And what you tend to do is you keep adding and adding and adding, because all of that extra support helps you do more business. So you're not having to do all of the little nitty-gritty routine daily stuff anymore, because other people are doing that. And it was funny, the guy in the States I was talking to this morning, I said, just be aware. He was sort of saying, look, I'm really busy, I'm on my own, I need a VA. I said, just be aware of one thing. When you get your first virtual assistant, I guarantee you'll probably get an extra 10 or 20 hours free a week once they're up to speed. I said, there are 2 things you can do with that. One, you can ease back and relax, or if you're anything like me, you're going to start another business or another product stream or something. And he laughed because he's like that. So you do tend to start building a team once you've had a lot of success with it. So there we go. Local versus overseas virtual assistants. There are heaps of benefits for both. For me, the cost of overseas virtual assistants by far is the biggest advantage for me. I can access really professional people, really great work ethic, and just get so much more done in my business. And actually, my executive assistant is away today, and I'm lost. It's like I've forgotten how to set up appointments with my clients and things. I'm just so used to being mollycoddled that I'm a bit spoilt. So there you go. Hopefully that will help you through the thought processes for local versus overseas virtual assistants. And if you've got any more questions, do please comment down below. Love to see questions. Do like and share and all that kind of stuff, because when I'm going through our channel, I look for the most popular videos and the ones that have got the most comments, and I thought, we'll do more about those sorts of topics. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.